Welcome everybody, my name is Todd and we're back on the Equinox server, and this is the third time I've recorded this episode. So what we're doing today is we are wondering why we have a hole in our ceiling. No, what we're doing today is we are doing some ore processing with Steve Factory Manager. Now the reason that it's the third time is because Steve's Factory Manager is a very interesting and useful mod if you know how to do it or know what you're looking at. But if you don't, or if you're learning, it is super boring. And I have tried, now this is the third time, to make it an interesting episode. I've tried to watch some big YouTubers episodes to see what they do, and their episodes are boring too. And it's not, you know, and these are interesting people and they have interesting videos. It's just Steve's Factory Manager. If you don't know what you're doing, it's just super dry. Like, what it does is awesome, but as far as like doing the commands and like going through the list, if you don't know, I'm just gonna try. So I've got things set up now because I did in different episodes, so I'm just gonna go through them. I'm going to send my ore into this chest, and then that is linked up to the processing center. These are chassis 5 pipes, and what I'm going to be putting in here, and I'm pretty sure there's a more efficient way now that I've been thinking about it in between recordings, but what I'm going to do for now is there is a ore dictionary module that you can just go ahead and put in case there's like different types of ore, or even if there's not, it will pull that ore out of the system. Well, what I did over here is I have a quick sort. So if I open this up, it's probably full of junk. Yes it is. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to pull out the quick sort for the episode so it's not filling this stuff up with junk, and we are going to just pull this out and it will start working. You see it, and I'll show you over there. Things are being smelted, stuff's being put in. I think I can get away with maybe put in at least this much. Okay, and then the rest, maybe we can put it in here. Can we get it all in? Okay. I want to just like get the last. If this gets down to 53, then we'll be able to do it. Okay. There we go. Should all be in there now. Is it turned into thermal expansion or foundation stuff? Yes. Alright. So you can see on this end the stuff that was in there already. The ore is being pulverized, and then it's going back into this chest, and then it's going to be smelted in the furnace, and then when it turns into ingots, it's pulling the stuff out. And what's pulling it out are these extractor modules, and what I have them set on is so that it only pulls out certain things, which is going to be the finished product. Okay. Now I don't have an example for the fortune machines, but I'll talk about them anyways. Of course I had them for the other recordings, but not this one. And I would set up something so you can actually see it, but then we get back into the boring part. So let's go over this quickly so I don't lose your attention. You can see the stuff being pulverized, and then it gets taken out and put into this section right here. Okay, so it's being taken out slowly, and then it gets pulled out again by Steve's Factory Manager and then put into the furnace, and then it gets pulled out, put back into here, and then the pipes on the other side put it back into the system. Now what's going on with these things? This right here are block smashers from Mine Factory Reloaded, and what they do for me is they fortune things like diamonds, emeralds, Certus quartz, nether quartz. When I put it in there, I don't have everything programmed in yet because I was just trying to make demonstrations. So this uses essence, and the essence that we get is from this, and this comes from our Enderman farm. Okay, it runs out pretty fast. I think I need to put a tank on it so I have some in reserve, but that's something I could do later. Now what this is for is so that you can power our machines. You can see I don't have conduits or any sort of power cables go into our machines, but they are powered. Steve's Factory Manager inventory cables will carry power. So it will take power out of the cell, but I haven't gotten it to take power out of the tesseract. I've read that you need something that will push power, like a generator. I guess the cells push power, but for some reason the tesseract, even though you put it on receive, won't push the power. I like the new. I didn't notice this before. It moves, and I even noticed that the RF Tools intergenic generators, they have a new texture, which we can go back down and look. Okay, so there's no, I mean, an animated texture. So we can look a little bit, but I want to get through this here. So the power part. Let's quickly go through these. I like to put my commands into different command groups so they don't get confused. So this is the power. The trigger is what starts a command, if you don't know already from Steve's Factory Manager, of course. And you need usually an input and an output. So we use create RF input, create RF output. So we have the input and output. The inputs are coming in from the cell and going out to the machines, and you can select multiple things. So we have one input here from the cell. See, we have the cell targeted, and then the machines. Let's go to the output. You can pick, all of the different types of machines, so you don't have to have like one command for each thing. Okay, so there's a reason that I have two. These are the exact same. The trigger that I have, if you have it on interval, the fastest interval that you can put it on is 1 second. Well, RF goes in RF per tick, and there's 20 ticks in a second. So if you do it 1 second, then you're cutting, you're cutting it by 95%. All right, you're only getting 5% of what you would usually get if it were just connected to conduits. So to make that a better number, what you use is the redstone receiver here, and then you have I use an RF Tools clock, and it's sending pulses of redstone, redstone pulses to the receiver every 2 ticks, which is super fast, 10 times every second. If you set this to once, like 1 tick, then it won't do like 20 ticks a second. It will just do 1 continuous, which doesn't work. You need to be continuously pulsing, so 2 is the fastest you can get out of this timer here. So the reason I have 2 is that even if you're doing it 10 times a second, that's cutting it in half what you could do if you had the conduits. So I have the 2 so that it's actually giving it, every tick that the timer sends through is actually doing the operation twice. So then that goes back up to 20 times a second. So you're getting your full. And I could probably do it multiple times here and actually get a throughput faster than what a cell would put out. But I don't need that for these machines. So we just have it for the 2. So I've explained those two. Again, I'm going fast because I don't want to lose your attention and just kind of keep it going here. So the essence, all you do is similar thing. You have the trigger, which I just do the 1 second here. I only use the redstone thing for just the power, but 1 second is good enough for everything else, the interval. So I have an input for liquid, and that's these commands over here, and an output. So all I do is I input and then output into these things. If you want a tutorial on this and you want me to go through each things, and I'm not, again, because I don't want it to get too boring for people who don't know what this is about, I can make a tutorial if you like the way that I explain things. So let's go back. We've got we'll look at the fortune stuff. So what this line is from the chest, input into the system from the chest and output into the block smashers, and then this is just an input into the system from the block smashers and output into the chest so that the stuff can be picked up. You can see I have inventories, chest, just like I said, from the block smashers. Do I have a third one picked? Yes, good. Okay. So that's the exact same thing, exact same thing with the regular ore that you can put through pulverizers and stuff like that. I have one that goes into the picks up from the chest into the pulverizer, and then from the pulverizer into the chest, and then I had one that was from the chest into the furnace, and then from the furnace into the chest to be picked up again. Why I put it into a different one is that there's something buggy about it that okay, here's what was happening when I had that command, and it was the exact same command that you see right here. It's just it was in that other command group. For some reason, it was like putting it in the wrong spot or whatever. When I last used this, or last set it up, which was Infinity, and it was the beginning of Infinity, not through all the updates, then it was working fine. So it's just something, it's just a bug. I'm sure it'll get worked out, and it might even be worked out already. So it's just in its own separate thing. You can specify what ore will be picked up through here inside this. Let me just show that real quick. So input from the chest and the items, you can see I did different ore, and that's not all the ore. I still have to do all of the different ones that I'll set up in between episodes. And yes, okay, so let's look at the actual machines. The augments, if you know thermal expansion, then you know that you can put augments in there now. They come with the augments where you can push items automatically, the augment so that you have redstone control, and then the augment so that you can set what's in and out and all that. I took those out. You don't need redstone control for this. You don't need it to automatically push out anything because Steve's Factory Manager will do it, and you don't need to configure which side is which because Steve's Factory Manager has a sneaky function, which is you can specify where it's coming from. So even though these are connected from the back, say if I want to pull something out, I can just set it to down or up or anything like that, and that you would find right here. Target is where you can say like which direction things come and go from. Yeah, so I have the augments I'm using is to speed up processing and then to increase the secondary chance, so I get lots of secondary things. That's why I use these instead of the mechanism items. And then the furnace I have where it processes faster, but I don't know, I guess I didn't need the resonant one. I tried putting in these, like a copy of these into the top slots to see if it would go even faster, but it didn't. It went slow again. So I don't know what else I could use for this. I don't really want to use any of these things here. I don't feel like they would be useful for the furnace. What is this? Destroys egg. No, I don't need that. I don't need anything else. So that was probably a waste. Well, actually no, I did need it for this highest tier. So I guess I needed it. It's just, I don't know. It's just empty. These get no upgrades, and you already saw this already. So I think that's it. I think I got through it. I hope that wasn't too boring. I went through the commands that I have. Let's see, there's nothing in here. So, I mean, you saw the things light up. Let's throw in a stack of ore of something and then just watch it work, and then you can see how fast maybe it goes through a stack of ore. It's pretty quick. It's going crazy outside. I don't have osmium. I can do copper. Okay. Did I actually get that? Yes. I'll do copper. So if I were to put the quick sort in there, it would bring copper over automatically and everything else and clog it up. So we're just going to throw in copper and we'll see how fast it starts doing this. So it takes it, it's going to start, oh look at that, you can already see it. So we don't even see the pulverized stuff, it goes so fast. And this should actually, oh, so secondary stuff, you can see the gold. A secondary item for copper is gold. So if we use mechanism, we can get like 3 times or whatever from the copper, but who needs a whole lot of copper? This is a chance to get extra gold. It's a chance to get extra cinnabar to make shiny from gold ore. It's an extra chance to get ferrous from iron. It's, I like the extras because usually the extras are worth more than getting copper 3 times, which if you have a quarry, you don't really need copper 3 times. I wonder how much further this has to go. So yeah, it could be a little slower than using these also, but like I said, the secondary. I'm just gonna throw these in here to pull them all out and put back into our system. And that's it. So that's how fast it goes through a stack of something. When you're doing your quarry, you're not gonna be collecting ore that fast. You know, most of it is going to be the stone here, but as it goes in, it'll get processed and come out and be ready for the next thing. So this is tested. I mean, I've tested it. It works. Once I get through processing all my ore, now that I have it set up, you know, this will be plenty fast. So, yep. I guess that's it. I know it was fast, but I swear I have... Oh, I've turned particles off too, because of the unobtainium armor having potion particles. In case you're wondering, these are still on. Anyways, what was I saying? I know it was a quick episode. I've recorded it a couple times. It was... This is probably going to be the best one. I was going to just do a disclaimer and then put up one of the other boring ones. But if you want to see more Steve's Factory Manager or the ore processing, I can do a tutorial. I can, you know, whatever you want, I can do it. We started the new series with the with MC Jetty's mod pack on the edge. So I've been trying to think about base design. I think maybe it was either like an evil scientist or villain lab in that volcano that we saw, or maybe we'll use that mod Magneticraft, and it's got a block where it will make bubbles in water. And we might make an underwater base and try to make it like futuristic, since it's supposed to be a tech pack anyways, just like this one. Anyway, so that's enough about a different series. That's this episode, and like I said, if you want to see more Steve's Factory Manager or anything like that, let me know and I'll try to make a tutorial. And you all have a great day. Thank you, and bye-bye.